How many of you guys haven't been here? How many have been here? How many haven't? I guess you guys have not.
I haven't.
Have not.
No.
Quite a few. All right.
That's why we're here.
That's what exactly. Perfect. We're gonna conduct this a little differently than we usually do on the normal tours. I guess Chris and I were discussing, because we're going to the 3 different mine tours. A lot of them have very different qualities. Each mine is different, and a lot of them have, some of them have the same things. So there's going to be things in here in this mine that we're going to be skipping that we'll be hitting on later on in other mines. If we skip something, don't worry about it. We're going to hit it in another mine. And I think a lot of this is actually going to be just you guys. Whatever you guys want to know, whatever you think of, whatever you concoct in your heads you want to ask us, go ahead and ask us. Because really, you guys are here because you like the stuff, you want to learn about it. So whatever you guys want to know, just ask us. We'll go over the basics, but
yeah, that's right.
It's going to be about you. So there you go.
How far down have we just come? 1,300 feet.
1350. Yep.
1350 down the slope, but that's not deep. We're about 250 feet below the surface of the globe.
And all those beds are down below us. They're all flooded up.
Yep. And in a little while, you'll be able to look up 250 feet. So,
the distance.
Yeah, we're down quite a bit. This is actually Pioneer is. Pioneer's going to be the deepest. We're going to be underground. Yeah, this is the second one.
Those three beams I was telling you about that they found over on Alliance Landfill over there.
Any fatalities ever in this mine?
Clark and
Yes.
That makes sense. We're going to be seeing the
I don't know what
the
they
number
were
2.
Yeah.
The new county is just out this way, a little ways. We're not going to see that, but yep.
Yeah, I remember now that I seen it there. New County was one of them. The Clark definitely, and Dunmore number 1.
Archibald vein.
There you go.
What is
That's
that red line?
That's the water lines.
Their own
The water table. That's all flooded down below that line.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. As you can see the valley here. This is the setup, the layout of the valley. If you took a cross section of the valley here, you guys are looking out over the valley, what we call the valley. You can see Scranton down in the basin. This would be your basin of the valley. You can see East Mountain. On the other side, you see the ski resort. Today is a nice day. When we get out on the surface and you look out over that valley, you'll see the ski resort just south of us on the other side of the valley and down to the right. And as you're looking over the valley, you can imagine every one of these beds of coal underlies this valley. This is the biggest valley of anthracite coal in the region. The northern field is one continuous valley. The thing about the middle and the southern fields, which we're going to go to today, we're going to hit the southern field, and then we're going to hit the middle field, is there are a lot of different little valleys of coal. So the northern field is one big valley just laid out like this. It's about, 7 miles wide by almost 50 miles long. So it's a lot of
stretches
coal.
from Forest City down to Chick-Shinny, all the way down almost by Berwick.
How much coal is left in this vein?
They say they say they only mined about 60% of the anthracite here in the northern field. Unfortunately, all of it's underwater right now, and not from the Knox mine disaster, as everybody thinks. So the Knox mine disaster only filled 3 mines full of water, not the whole valley. And then when they stopped pumping, since every mine was connected, that's when they started to flood down that way. But up here, the Knox mine disaster didn't affect any mines up north of Moosic, because like I was telling you about the Moosic Saddle, which is an anticline in Moosic where the rock comes up and the water couldn't get up this way. But all the mines are full of water because every colliery got greedy and they robbed into another colliery through their barrier pillar. They're supposed to leave a 100-foot barrier of coal between every colliery. Well, we've seen it firsthand where they punch a tunnel right through from one colliery, right through the pillar of coal into the next colliery and take their coal. And what would happen when their mine closed and they couldn't mine anymore, so they'd shut their pumps off. Now it would be their mine would fill up with water and flood into the next mine. That's what would happen unless the other colliery took over pumping for the one that just shut down. Well, now since they're pumping 2 mines, their value of their coal has gone down. So now they have to pump twice as much to keep their mine dry. Well, they close down. Well, now that mine fills up and spills over to the next one. And you said it was just a domino effect.
They all did.
About the 1960s. Yep, it just flooded the whole thing out.
The whole thing.
Now, the only mines that would really be viable right now are any mines that are up on the hill, like this, on the sides of the valley, because the water level, it depends on where you are in the valley, but it's right around river level. It's either 50 feet below or just maybe a little bit above.
I just wanted to say it again. I missed it on tape.
What's that? everything I just said?
No. The mines that would
From
be
when you were
viable.
talking to Tom?
Yeah.
The mines that were viable today. The
What
only
was-
thing would be viable today.
Oh, the only mines in the northern field here that would be viable today are the mines that are up on the side of the hill. Everything in the valley is underwater. And you can't, just like this mine, it's on the side of the hill, it goes down and eventually hits the water, which I don't think you'll be able to see it. But the water is probably maybe 75 feet below vertically where we are right now.
It never comes up this high.
No, it never comes up this high. The mine pool does vary a little bit. But people say, why don't you just pump it out and mine again? Well, if you pumped it out, there'd be a lot of subsidences because the water's actually holding the city up because of hydraulic pressure. You know, subsidence can't fall and push the water because the water can't go anywhere. Not fast enough anyway. And also, you couldn't pump out that majority of water. I mean, you had to bring in pumps.
Trillions of gallons.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It's just like, I mean, they say, well, they kept the mines dry then, why can't they dry them on now? Well, it's just like a swimming pool. This is what I tell everybody. You take a swimming pool and you fill it up with water.
Yeah.
Okay, well, say you have your swimming pool and you have a garden hose going in. That represents the water coming into the mines. Don't you hear water dripping in? I mean, it's just a natural thing. The mines fill up with water. You know, they get water in them. So you throw your garden hose in the pool. You put a pump in there to pump out the water that's going in. And that represents the coal mines when they were mining them. The pump would keep the water out and the pool would stay dry. What happens if you put that garden hose in, let the pool fill up with water, and then drop that pump in there? It's not going to pump it dry because the garden hose is still putting the water in. There's always water coming into these mines. Some are wetter than others. Like you'll see in number 9. Number 9's a wet mine. When we're going in there, the man trips that go in are covered. Like this one's covered too, but there's not a lot of water that drips in here. But when you go in there, I mean, well, yeah, Shadow was in there when we were working with us this winter. But we'll talk about what we did there when we're at there. But you get soaked in that one. You pretty much got to wear rain gear. We're replacing rail in there. And there was about a 100-foot section where, I mean, it was seriously like working in a thunderstorm. I mean, you're standing there, and you're soaked.
It didn't help that it was pouring that day.
What's that?
It didn't help that it was pouring
It didn't help
that
that it
day.
was, yeah.
It's
And,
like the Knox mine, they said on the river it was raining.
exactly. And it doesn't help that it's, 15 degrees outside and you're running the fan. You
Thanks,
got
say hi to
probably
Teresa.
30-degree intake there.
Hi,
And you're
Teresa.
soaked in here. Yeah.
What happened to the project to use the mine pool, like as cooling water for like houses and stuff?
The elections.
The election, pretty much.
Oh.
All politics, Mikey. It's all politics. I don't know if you guys saw it on the website or not, but what Mike is referring to is we worked with Lackawanna County, and me and Banks and 2 other guys from our group, and this guy that had this idea, Jim Savico, went into a bunch of the old mines in the area here, went down to the mine pool and took samples of the water for temperature. And everybody said, yeah, the water should be about 50 degrees, but nobody knew for sure that it would be. So we went down and we checked the water in the mine pool from Carbondale down to Wilkes-Barre, and we got between 48 and 60 degrees. And that was good for what Jim, some research he was doing, and he proposed it to the county, for the county to go ahead and use the mine pool water for geothermal energy, for pumping the water out of the mines to run through a heat pump to heat buildings and everything to 60 degrees. And then send the water back down into the mines again. And it was an idea that they actually built, and they have one running right now down in Scranton, on Providence Ave, yeah, right across from the.
What building's using it?
It's just a small little. It's like a little shed. They built a shed. It's probably, I think it's 12 feet by 25 feet, and they built it just for this. They drilled 2 boreholes. Well, they actually drilled 6 boreholes. 4 of them collapsed on them, and they drilled 2 more. They got them. They cased them.
Yeah.
And they're pumping the water out, they're heating the building, they can cool the building, they can do it just like anything else with this using mine water.
It's right on, when you're going down Providence Ave, right across